Hey everybody, what's good? What's going on? JV here with another CyberInsight video. I finally got to the last certification in my Juniper Networks certification challenge, and that is the JNCIA-DevOps. This is their certification that deals with different types of automation and using different types of APIs and scripting and all that good stuff. All that stuff that I really have no or limited experience with. So in today's video, we're going to go through and do the practice test for this. I hope I pass. We'll see what happens. So yeah, let's jump into that. If you're here, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. I mean, why not? Just do it. All right, let's get into the practice test. All right, so for those of you who have seen me do some of these previous tests before, this site should look familiar. This is the Junos Genius website. This is where all of the free training and practice tests reside. So today we are just going to go over to the Automation and DevOps certification track, go into the JNCIA-DevOps. We'll see here kind of a little bit of a breakdown of all the stuff that is covered in the certification. So introduction to DevOps, kind of the way that the different components reside within the Juniper devices to allow for different types of scripting and APIs. XML, Json, YAML, how to use Ansible, Python, Junos, PyEZ, and then their REST API. So we are going to go down here to the practice test. I have not taken any of these yet, so this will be the first time. This is the same type of setup that the rest of their practice exams are, so it's 65 questions. You need to get a 71 to pass. We'll see how this goes. And as always, I'm going to use this to study and then take their voucher exam test, which I think you have to get about the same to pass. And when you do that, then you get an exam voucher from them at this point, which is 75% off the total cost of certification. So I think their certs go for $200 a piece. So 75% off of that means that I'll only have to pay $50 for the exam. All right, let's jump into this. All right, which two statements about continuous delivery are true? Continuous delivery is required for continuous deployment. Continuous integration is a natural extension of continuous delivery. Continuous delivery includes the automated deployment stage. Continuous delivery means that software is deployed on demand when there is a new software build. Let's go. Deployed on. Let's go the bottom one, and let's go those two. I don't think I got this right, but we'll see. All right, what do we got? Okay, continuous delivery is required for continuous development. Continuous delivery ensures code is ready to be deployed at any time, with actual deploy not necessarily happening in a fully automated way. Continuous deployment includes a stage of automated deployment. Okay, next question. Which two statements about the waterfall model of software development are true? One phase of development must be completed before you can start the next phase. Yes. Multiple phases of development can be worked simultaneously. No. This method lacks flexibility. This method provides a way to make changes quickly and add new features on demand. No. Which statement are true regarding DevOps? DevOps is a methodology that ensures that collaboration does not occur across organizational boundaries. No. The point is collaboration. DevOps is a methodology used to develop software systems. Yes. DevOps is a methodology that allows for frequent, quick modifications. Yes. DevOps is a methodology that is limited to small code-based development. No. According to the Manifesto of Agile Software Development, what are two main values of Agile? Choose 2. Customer collaboration is preferred over contract negotiations. It's preferred over contract negotiations. Working software is preferred over comprehensive documentation. Yes, that's going to be 1. Tools are preferred over individuals. Following a plan is preferred over responding to change. So the whole thing with Agile is that you want to be agile. Funny that they would name it that. So you do want to be able to respond to changes. So that's definitely not it. Working software is preferred over comprehensive documentation. Yes, you want the product to be good, and that is preferred over to spending too much time focused on documentation. Tools are preferred to individuals. I don't think that's it. Customer collaboration is preferred over contract negotiations. Yeah, so I think you want to get your customers' input on things as you continue to go through your iterations. Okay. What represents the infrastructure as code workflow? Okay. Well, this one is going to be a shot in the dark for me here. Code, version control. Let's go code review. Version control, integrate, deploy. Complete shot in the dark here. Yeah, okay. Code, version control, code review, integrate, deploy. Okay, so I flipped those two around. So the whole thing here is the device code is created and then stored in version control system. Okay, oh, that's what they meant by version control, was actually like having it in something like SVN or something like that. Okay. So you put it into the system and then it goes through a review process and then it's integrated back into the master branch and then deployed. Okay. Which 2 automation tools require agent to be loaded on the Junos device? Well, it's not Ansible. And I don't know that it's Salt, Chef and Puppet, maybe? I just know it's not Ansible off the top of my head. Okay. Good guess. What are 2 advantages of the DevOps approach to network automation? To lower cost, to improve quality. You're getting away from performing manual configuration, so that is definitely not it. To rotate job roles, I don't really know how that goes into network automation. So let's go those 2. You're lowering cost because you're able to do stuff more quickly, and then you're improving quality because you kind of have a process that everything is going through versus it being ad hoc. So we'll see. What is a default port for Netcomp over SSH? So 22 can be used for Netconf, but 8030 is the default for Netconf over SSH. You can use port 22, but 8030 is the default for it. Which 2 API languages for Netconf libraries are supported by JTAC? Let's go Ruby and Python. This is a guess. Yeah, okay. And I was completely wrong. Okay, we're going to have to go back and read up on that one a little bit more. Which two processes does a Junos automation use? MGD and JSD, I believe. Definitely not the chassis, and I don't remember what that is. Okay. Which two statements are true regarding the DevOps methodology? Choose two. Feedback should be analyzed at each stage of the process. A goal is to make a development, test, and production environment as identical as possible. Communication between people should be minimized during the process as much as possible. Definitely not that. Code changes should be few and manually tested. Let's not say that is either. That doesn't sound good. So feedback is important, and you want to have all of your environments as closely mimic each other as possible. Okay. Which two tools are available as on-box automation solutions for Junos devices? Python and Slacks. Ansible and Chef are off-box. You are asked to determine the XML remote procedure call to display a hostname to IP address mapping on a Junos device. In this scenario, which command will accomplish this task? So this is pretty cool that you can do the pipe command and display. Normally when I look at Junos configurations, I like to do the show whatever the command is, pipe display set. And that kind of lays everything out in the set configuration. So this makes it very, very easy to read. Cool thing here is you can do XML, and then you also can do XML RPC, which will give you the remote procedure call way that things are configured within the configuration. I think that sounded redundant, but all right, let's hit that. There we go. Which programming language communicates with JSON XML API both on and off box? There is only one that can do both on and off box, and that is Python. Which statement is correct about XML element nodes? The element node is the value assigned within opening and closing tag pair. The element node cannot be nested with another element node. The element node is defined by the first opening and closing tag pair of the XML document. An element node consists of everything between an opening and closing tag pair. Let's go this first one. Oh, okay. Is it going to be the bottom one? Yeah. An element node consists of everything between an opening and closing tag pair. Elements are everything within a matching start and end tag that represent an element node in a document. Okay. Which statement is correct about XML document nodes? Document node is the assigned value with the opening and closing pair. Document node can be nested within. The document node is defined as an entire XML document. Well, we know it's not the last one. The top one or this one? Let's go this. Oh, the entire, oh, I was right. I should have went with my first guess. What are two layers of the Netcomp protocol? So you have the transport. Physical is not one. I don't believe configuration is one. Message is one. I wish that they would give you the rest of those there. Oh, there they go. They're going to give us the rest of them. What are the other two layers of the Netcomp protocol? Let's go back and look at this real quick. So it's messages and transport. So I believe those are the bottom two. That's the first layer that makes the connection. This is the specific types of RPC requests and the response. Then you have operations, which is going to be the specific types of request or what it is that you're actually, the commands that you want to run. And then content is the actual data that you get back from those commands. Okay. What are two ways to represent a XML hierarchy? So that's one way if it's going to be something that doesn't have anything between the two tags, right? So you could do that. Then you could also go like this one. The gem install netconf command is used to install netconf for which language? Well, a gem reminds me of a Ruby, so that's my best guess. There we go. I love it when vendors use terms that are kind of related to what their name is. Click the exhibit button in the XML output shown in the exhibit. What is the full X path for the IP address of the interface? The full X path. So it's going to be interfaces, interface, unit, family, inet, address, name. Let's see if we can remember that. Interfaces, interface, unit, family, unit, family, inet, address. There we go. Oh, no. Oh, configuration. I was so close. Let's take a look at that again real quick, see where we missed at. Oh, I didn't look good enough down here. If I paid attention, I would have seen that this configuration tag closed it out, which means that it would have went under the configuration. So, yep. What is required to enable the Junos OS to accept netconf sessions on port 830? Enable netconf using the set system services netconf SSH command. Yep. Which character is used to signal the start of a JSON object? I believe that JSON likes the curly brackets. It's either the curly brackets or the regular brackets. Let's go curly bracket. Yep. Which character is used to signal the start of a JSON array? The array is going to be the square brackets. Yep. What are two advantages of using JSON over YAML in a DevOps project? JSON is simpler to read than YAML. I'm going to say no. JSON uses the lowest common denominator model. JSON has all of the capabilities of YAML and more. We can go with that. JSON uses the lowest common denominator model. I am not sure between these two. I'm going to say that it's easier for a machine to parse because YAML is more human readable format. So let's go those two, but I could be wrong. Yeah, okay. JSON uses the lowest common denominator model, ensuring any JSON data can be processed easily by every modern programming environment. Okay, so that's a very good reason. YAML has simple to read files, but the language is more complex to generate and parse, right? In addition, YAML does not follow lowest common. Okay. Yep. Makes sense. Which example displays a YAML mapping? So YAML mapping is going to be with this colon. Which statement is true about JSON? JSON is language dependent, which uses conventions that are familiar to programmers. JSON was designed for human readability over parsing speed. JSON is used for human-to-machine communication tasks. JSON is lightweight data interchange format, human readable, but easier for machines to parse. I like that. Let's go with that one. Perfect. Which statement about relationship between YAML and JSON is true? All JSON data can convert to YAML data, and all YAML data can convert to JSON. Let's go all JSON data can convert to YAML, but not all YAML can convert to JSON. Okay. All YAML data can convert to JSON, but not all JSON can convert to YAML. I'm going to go with all YAML data can convert to JSON data, but not all JSON data can convert to YAML. And I'm going to say that based off of the fact that JSON can have comments, right? So you can use a # and add in comments into your JSON config, but you can't do that within YAML. So you couldn't convert that JSON data to YAML data. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, I'm incorrect. Okay. I'm probably reading too much into that. All JSON data can convert to YAML, but not all YAML. Okay. They're similar enough. In most cases, you can convert between. YAML, however, does not follow the lowest common denominator data types, so requires more complex processing when crossing between different programming environments. Okay, well, I'll come back to that later. Referring to the exhibit, this snippet of code would represent which type of data? So that is JSON. Oh, but it wants to know those are JSON objects. What is a customary way to start a YAML file? These 3 little dashes. Okay. You are creating a JSON data structure and need to add a title called the big router. In this scenario, which example would produce the desired results? Title, so we're all doing quotes. So we got curly brackets, quotes around title, colon. Okay. Then we got the big router, and just using apostrophes within the quotes. I'm going to say no on that, and I'm going to say no on this. I'm going to go this one. Incorrect. JSON strings can consist of Unicode except for double quotes and backslashes. However, you can use double quotes and backslashes if you use the escape sequence first. So proceed the characters as escaped with a backslash. Okay, so backslash, double quotes, big, backslash, double quotes. Okay. What are 2 popular methods of data serialization? Let's go JSON and YAML. Which 2 statements are true about data structures? JSON was designed for human readability over parsing speed. JSON was designed for parsing speed over human readability. Yes? And then YAML is the opposite of that. YAML is designed for human readability over parsing speed. Which command do you use to install a Juniper Networks created Ansible module? So it is going to be the Ansible gallery install Juniper Junos. So Juniper Junos is the particular module that was developed by Juniper Networks, and since it is not default to Ansible, I believe the Galaxy part of that is like their marketplace type of thing. So Ansible-Galaxy install Juniper.Junos. What are 2 Junos Ansible modules? Junos Facts. Junos Cluster sounds right too, but I'm going to go Junos RPC. Okay. What is the default path including the default file name of the Ansible inventory file? Etsy.Ansible inventory or Etsy Ansible hosts. Oh, let's go that, but it could be that. Yeah. Yep, it's the hosts. That always confuses me because they refer to it as the inventory file, but that's not actually the name of it. Yeah, so remember the inventory file is the hosts file. That's within Ansible. Okay. Click the exhibit button, referring to the exhibit, which statement is true about the Ansible host file. Well, we got 3 devices and then a group that only has 2 of those devices. Router 1 and router 2 are in the routers group. Yep. Which of the 2 statements is correct about the playbook shown in the exhibit? So get device facts, only going to DC1, it's using the Juniper Junos module, checking Netcomp connectivity, retrieving information. Okay, so let's see what they want. The Juniper Junos modules will be executed locally on the Junos device. No, locally means executed on your Ansible server, so that is definitely not it. The host variable must be defined in the inventory file. And that is true. Juniper Junos modules will be executed locally on the control device. That does look like that. Let me just make sure that there wasn't host inventory host. Yep, I'm good with those 2. You are asked to create a playbook that will be able to run the Get System Alarm Information RPC. Which Ansible Gallery module would you use to accomplish this task? It would be the Juniper Junos RPC. So you can tell, well, because it's talking about using RPC. So you're going to want to use the RPC one with that. Ansible playbooks are written in which format? They are written in YAML. Which 2 statements describe Ansible operations on a Juniper device? Ansible uses Netcomp over SSH. Yes. Ansible uses YAML over SSH. No. Ansible requires all tasks to execute locally on the control server. Yes, Ansible requires all tasks to execute locally on the Junos device. No, you are executing those on the control server, and then it's being sent over the Netcomp session. Okay. Click the exhibit. Which 2 types of files are shown in the exhibit? Which 2 types of files are shown in the exhibit? We got, so this is going to be YAML, and there's something else that I'm missing here. Oh, okay, yeah. It's a YAML file and an Ansible playbook. Huh, thought that was going to be a tricky one. No. Which statement is true about using Ansible with the Junos device? Ansible agent must be installed. No, there's no agent. Ansible modules are executed on the control server. That's correct. SFTP is not what's used. An Ansible playbook is a set of tasks written in XML. Nope. Click the exhibit button in the playbook shown in the exhibit. How many Ansible tasks are listed? We see 2 tasks. So name, get Junos device facts. So it's going to do, and then we have another dash here, name. We're going to print those. So 2. Which 2 statements are correct about a Python dictionary? It is identified by curly brackets. It is an ordered collection of key value pairs. I like that. It is an unordered collection of key value pairs. It is defined by square brackets. Ooh. Let's go with that. I'm not sure. Completely wrong. Unordered collection of key value pairs. I knew it was key value pairs, and it is identified by curly brackets. Okay. What is the pound symbol used for in Python? I almost said hashtag. What's the pound symbol used for in Python? That's going to be to comment. Junos PyEZ is a micro framework used to operate the Junos OS using which language? That's going to be Python. And looking down that, Puppet isn't a language, Chef isn't a language, Ruby is and Python is, but Junos PyEZ has Py in the name, so that's an easy way to do that. All right, let's see. What is represented by connect auth error, connect timeout, and connect error in Python? That is going to be PyEZ exception handling. So whenever something gets jacked up, these are some certain things that you can have within your script to let you know how to handle those. You are asked to write a PyEZ script that will modify the Junos configuration. Which PyEZ utils module will accomplish this task? Config. The ampersand and pipe characters represent what type of Python operator? Comparison? Bitwise? Okay. Bitwise, yep. Click the exhibit button. Refer to the exhibit. Which two statements are true about PyEZ Python script? Okay. We have some stuff being imported from the Juniper Junos module. We have a host. We're going to try and open the device. I'm going to try and do that unless we get an error. And then we are going to try and get I assume the rescue config. And then we're going to save it. The script does not include error handling. No, it does have error handling. User credentials are passed to Juniper Junos config utility. The script attempts to establish a Netcomp connection to the device. The login is established outside of the operation of the script. Let's see where that was. Yeah, so it doesn't have the login stuff here. We'll go with that. And maybe the netconf. Yeah, we'll go netconf on that too. What is the outcome of the Python A = B operator? The variables will be added together. The variables are compared to determine if they have the same value. The variables are compared to determine if they have different data types. The variables will be subtracted. No, and it's comparing to see if it equals each other. You are a programmer currently developing code on a Linux device. You want to start the Python interactive interpreter shell from the command. Which command must be used to accomplish this task? Well, it's just Python. Which two connection methods would be used with PyEZ? Netconf over SSH. I mean, I can't imagine that or that. I guess you could send a script to the device over FTP. No? Okay. My bad. You can use Telnet with it. Don't use Telnet with it. Which code segment is an example of a Python tuple? I believe it's this. It's either that or that. Let's go that. Oh, maybe it's that. Yeah, it's that. Okay. It uses parentheses. Yep. Which API uses HTTP and HTTPS to communicate with the Junos device? That is going to be the REST API. Which daemon on a Junos device is responsible for terminating a REST API HTTPS request? And that is going to be the light, or the, how do you pronounce that? Is it light? TPD? I don't know. It's this first one. What is the default HTTP port that is used by REST to connect to a Junos device? The default is 3000, but you can change that to something else. Which transport protocols is used by the REST API? I believe it is IPv4 only. A REST client makes a request to Junos device using the REST API. What is the last daemon that would process this request? JSD, I think. No, MGD. So it starts the light TPD, then to JSD and MGD, and then sends the data back. Okay. You have configured the Junos OS so that you can securely access the REST API from a client device. You now want to use the REST API Explorer tool to execute RPC commands over HTTPS. In this scenario, which statement describes the action you must perform on the Junos device? You must enable the REST API Explorer tool and connect to the Junos device using Explorer's default port of 3443. So remember we're talking about 3000 being the default port for REST API over HTTP. Well, for HTTPS, which you're going to get that encryption with it, the default port is 3443. What are two advantages of using the REST API? Session state information is not stored on the server. Most programming languages include binaries for the REST API. REST API uses SSH to connect to devices. So that's definitely not it, and that's definitely not it. So most programming languages have libraries for REST API, so it can integrate with that, and it allows you to use simple tools for fast prototyping. Yeah, sounds good to me. You were asked by your manager to allow API access to your Junos devices. Your solution should have a GUI API Explorer to test RPC commands. In this scenario, what are you being asked to support? API access, your solution should have a GUI API Explorer. Oh, well then that is REST. What code format is a valid example of a HTTP GET method? Protocol, device, port, RPC, and then the actual procedure. Which two tools should be used to test a REST API? You can use curl, and you can use Postman. Okay. I don't think we did too bad. We'll see here in a second. Okay, got a 76, which means I passed. So awesome. So I'm going to do a little bit more studying with this, and then I am going to take the real voucher test. Hopefully pass that, and schedule my actual JNCIA-DevOps exam, and then that will be it for the 5 Juniper associate level certifications, which has been fun doing that. I think we started back in May. So hopefully you'll see a new video from me not too far in the future, doing a little bit of a tips and review for me having passed the exam. So if you have any questions or anything like that, drop those down in the comments section down below. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do that as well. I appreciate that. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will chat with everybody soon. All right, bye.